Catch up with all the latest sports news and results from around the globe, now on BBC World News in Sport Today.
Hello again, this is Sport Today from the BBC Sports Centre with me, Chris Mitchell, coming up for you. Speed up, speed up! Golf's march to modernity as new rules are proposed. Can Australia really win the Test series in India? David Warner tells us about their breathtaking victory in the first Test. And is David Hay really struggling to make this weekend's big fight? It takes too long and the rules are way too complicated. But the organisations that control golf want that to change. No longer will you be allowed to spend ages in the woods looking for your ball. No longer will we see pros and officials tangled in a drawn-out discussion on where or where not they can drop their ball. At least that's the theory. According to the game's rules makers, these are the biggest set of changes to the rules of the sport in a generation. On Wednesday, the R&A and the USGA released a statement containing several changes to the laws of the game in the hope that golf will be quicker to play and easier to understand. Now, what are they? Let's look at a few of them very quickly for you. No penalty for accidentally, moving your ball. That's straightforward enough. Reduce the time allowed to look for your ball from 5 minutes as it is currently to just 3 minutes now. Ban caddies from lining up players as they prepare to hit. That can take a while. And recommend no player takes more than 40 seconds to hit a shot. A few moments ago, I spoke to the executive director at the R&A, David Rickman. I asked him why they'd gone for these changes.
We're trying to make things better. You can never stand still. And while the game itself is extremely popular, you're right, now played in 208 countries around the world, but the rules can come across as complex, confusing and intimidating. And given that golf is a self-regulating game, it's really important that golfers follow the rules, know the rules, believe they are fair and intuitive. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, you're right, because you can be watching maybe a tournament on the PGA Tour or the European Tour, and there can be an occasion where a golfer, a pro, will be speaking to the rules official for 5, 10, 15 minutes about whether the ball should go there, or an inch to the left, an inch to the right, and it can seem preposterous to somebody watching.
Yes, we need this game to be dynamic. We need it to be entertaining and interesting for both participants, viewers and spectators, and therefore, yeah, we want people spending their time watching golfers play golf. So for the first time, we're really explicitly advocating prompt play throughout the game. We're looking to make a number of other changes that perhaps incrementally can improve the overall pace of play. So yeah, we want people watching people playing golf, not having conversations about the rules.
Interesting theory. Our golf correspondent Ian Carter joins us now. Ian, are these changes going to work?
I think they probably will. I mean, there are 30 of them. There are some pretty striking ones in there. I think the one that really struck me is the way that we will drop the ball going forward. At the moment, you drop it at shoulder height. You'll be able to bend down and drop it from just an inch over the ground. And of course, that means that the ball isn't going to bounce away and go into uncharted territory, if you like, and it's less likely that you're going to have to go through the rigmarole of dropping it again if it bounces out of the designated area in which it should rest. So that's one area. The fact that you can only spend 3 minutes rather than 5 looking for your golf ball is another that it will speed up play. I think that is a very important aspect of golf going forward. But yes, I do think that most of these proposals will really benefit the game.
And what about, though, the time it's going to take? Because these proposals aren't going to come through until 2019, I think, and they are just proposals. Will there be any resistance, do you think?
Chris, this is golf. Things don't happen that quickly, you know, and they have to put these proposals out now, which they will do for 6 months. And they're looking for the likes of you and I, golfers, to have a look at them in detail, have a go at playing these particular conditions and see if it's to golfers' liking and offer that feedback. And only after that will they then try to enshrine these rules, and then they'll come into play in 2019. So it's a slow process, but we will get there eventually. And as David Rickman was saying, I think that there is a need to really modernize the game and make it something that players of all standards are able to understand.
Slow progress to speed up the game. Ian Carter, great to get your thoughts on BBC World News. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
OK, the four-time major winner Rory McIlroy admits he's been taken aback by the reaction to his round of golf with the United States President Donald Trump. The Northern Irishman was, well, abused, really, on social media. That's all you can call it. He was shocked by that. He was asked about it again at the news conference in Mexico, where he's preparing for the WGC event on Thursday.
I was just doing what I felt was respectful, and you know, the President of the United States phones you up and wants to play golf with you. I wasn't going to say no because like, I don't agree with everything that he says. I don't, but I never, it's like, it is what it is. I'm not an American. I can't change the way the political system is there, or what's going to happen, or I can't vote. And as I said this in Doral last year, even if I could vote, I don't think I would have.
OK, enough with the golf. Let's move on to the cricket. India losing a test was a shock. They hadn't lost in 19. The fact that it was to Australia in India was even more surprising. And the manner of the win, a thrashing, left us open-mouthed. So what does it all mean? The Aussie vice-captain David Warner has been speaking to us.
It meant the world to us and, Australia in general. A lot of people at home wrote us off at the beginning of the summer after losing the Test match series to South Africa, to bounce back from there and win the first Test in India, and the first one I think in 12, 13 years. Is absolutely amazing. It's definitely up there with my best ever win playing for Australia, and we are really ecstatic, and I think from there it sets the bar high now for us moving forward to these next 3 tests. We know India's going to come hard, so we can't be complacent, and we know what we're going to expect. They're going to come hard.
There is a big fight this weekend involving the former world heavyweight champion David Haye. Or is there? Rumours have been circulating that Haye, who is due to fight the cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew this Saturday in London, has an Achilles injury. Does he really? Our sports reporter Adi Adedoyin has spent time with Haye this weekend. What's the truth, Adi?
So David Haye had a news conference in Liverpool on Monday, and since then it transpires that he's been in Munich, and he's been seen with the surgeon who operated on his shoulder, and that's led to speculation that he's got this injury. He may be forced to pull out of Saturday's bout. The fact that he's posted messages on social media shows that he's probably not that concerned about an injury. He hasn't hidden the fact that he's been in Germany. I also spoke to one of his press officers who says that, yes, he's been there, but he will be at a media workout later this evening. He's fighting fit, he's confident, and they expect him to win. The fact that you've travelled abroad in the week of a fight...
why do that? Yeah, that seems the surprising element.
It's probably an element of how confident he is going into this fight. He's been heavyweight for 10 years. Tony Bellew is the cruiserweight champion. He's moving up a weight division. Haye will be the biggest, stronger man on the night. So he is the bookmakers' heavy favourite to win the bout and win by knockout.
What is, to people who don't follow boxing, what is the mismatch then between the two boxers in terms of their division?
I mean, he's moving up quite a substantial weight class. That's like Evander Holyfield facing Tony Bellew, or Mike Tyson facing Tony Bellew. That's a big step up in class for him to do that. They say the last thing that a fighter loses is the ability to punch. David Haye has a pretty phenomenal knockout record, both as a cruiserweight and as a heavyweight. That's why they've made him a favourite. The one thing to consider, though, is over the last 5 years, he's only boxed for 6 minutes because of injuries, and then he retired from the sport. And so perhaps the ability to land that punch might be more difficult. He might have lost a bit of sharpness. So that's what Tony Bellew's team are banking on, that he's not the force he once was. If they're right, he could cause a big upset. If they're wrong, it could be a very painful night for Tony Bellew, and a quick one, too, for David Haye.
Very quickly, could David Haye win on one leg anyway, even if he had a bad Achilles? Like Tiger Woods won, didn't he?
That's what he thinks. He's a phenomenal puncher, and if he lands that punch, it could be a good night.
OK, Adi, thanks very much for joining us, keeping us up to date. Okay, that's it for now. You can get all the latest sports news at our website. You'll find that at BBC. There it is, bbc.com/sport. And remember, if you lose your ball in the woods, you can't go hunting for it. You can, but only for 3 minutes. Got to speed up. Speed up. See you later.